Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Aton.
Okay, sorry, 1 second. But I just remember one thing and I'm distracted, like Josh. But also just remember, we're two guys having a conversation, right? Jokes, stuff. All right, a lot of
Jokes,
jokes.
yeah.
Yeah, jokes is key. It makes it pleasant to listen to, right? So lots
Yeah.
of jokes. Yeah, jokes, 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 jokes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm way off it today. Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Aton.
Welcome back to the 15th episode of the Younger Half podcast. We're flying through episodes here.
Yes.
We are two 14-year-old boys from New Jersey who discuss, debate, and share insights on everything from history to politics, sports, events, and more. So follow us on Instagram at The Younger Half to see more of our podcasts. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform at The Younger Half. You can also check out our YouTube channel to see our faces during our podcast. Also, if you'd like to help grow the podcast by supporting us with a monthly donation, head to anchor.fm/theyoungerhalf/support or click on the link in the description. Also, like I said last week, we are also on TikTok now. Go follow us there. So let's get into it. We got some big events here. We got that big Breonna Taylor ruling. We got that big case. So Aton, break down for us.
All right. So we're gonna be talking about a lot of key people here. So the people you should know is Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend, Mr. Walker, were in their apartment, and she has an ex-boyfriend. So we'll just be referring to them as Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend, and like we'll say like police officers, etc. So um on well, I don't know the exact date, but plainclothes police officers were executing a search warrant, and they forced their way into the apartment where Breonna Taylor was sleeping with her boyfriend in the apartment, and it was shortly after midnight. And Mr. Walker, who was her boyfriend, fired a shot from his licensed gun. So Mr. Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, thought Breonna's ex-boyfriend was breaking into the apartment because someone just like banged down the door and ran in. So he thought that
Which was
Breonna's
legal
ex,
because they did have a no
he had a
knock
licensed
warrant.
gun.
So you want to break down a bit more why in the first place were the police there?
So the police were there to execute a search warrant for her ex-boyfriend, but her ex-boyfriend wasn't there.
Right. So not for the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend.
Right. So what happened was that Taylor's boyfriend thought it was her ex-boyfriend and shot him and like start shooting at them. And the officials say that the boyfriend hit one of the officers in the leg, and then the three officers that were executing the search warrant discharged 32 rounds, according to the report by the FBI.
32.
32 rounds.
Wow.
And they said a subsequent police report contained an error, and it was a very, very interesting error. They said that Breonna Taylor had no injuries.
What? I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
What? I mean, and didn't you say also that the like wasn't a police officer fired, right?
So yeah, one of the officers, Mr. Hinkinson, I don't know his name, but one of the police officers was fired for blindly firing 10 rounds. So pretty much he just went
All
and
right.
just shot anywhere, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, good though that they at least fired him. And 32 rounds being shot like that for one. You know what I'm saying? For one,
Yes,
for
yeah,
one, for one gunfire. At the same time, um, yeah, we'll dive into our opinions once we get the facts down.
right. So a timeline of the events was basically Walker fires one bullet, hitting one of the officers in the leg, and the police respond by, like, by
Returning fire.
returning fire, and they shot Walker and Taylor, 6 times. Yeah, that was like he was like the boyfriend was in the hallway, and they like shot him. and then they fired another 16 shots through the door. That's crazy. So they just kept pretty much firing everywhere.
Yeah, I mean that, but right,
And yeah, so Taylor was Breonna was reportedly struck 6 times in a matter of seconds. And the one of the officers fired 10 shots through the patio door and the window. So that's why he was fired, because his shots went anywhere. Someone in the next door apartment could have been hit.
right, right. So let's get into the charges, and then we'll share our thoughts and opinions.
Right. So what happened on September 23rd was that one officer, Brett Hinkinson, that was the one that was fired for blindly shooting 10 rounds, was charged not with Breonna Taylor's death, but with a wanton endangerment for firing into the neighbor's apartment next door. So that was the same reason he was fired. He wasn't even charged with killing her. He was charged with endangering people next door. So the 2 other officers who were involved were not charged at all. And the lawyer for the Breonna's family said that to quote that, the fact that no charges have been brought directly in relation to the killing was, quote, outrageous and offensive. Her family sued the Kentucky city for the death in May and reached a $12 million settlement.
Wow. So
But
lot to
only,
take in there. So
yeah.
so thoughts. Hey Tom, where you at?
So
Like, do you
it's just
think a few
crazy.
questions here? You think like let's talk about like the first thing we spoke about, the actual situation.
Yeah, so to like break that down, like why the police were really there was that they obtained a search warrant for um Brianna's name and address because they believed her ex-boyfriend was involved in a drug ring and used her apartment to hide narcotics. So the police thought that Brianna was hiding like drugs in her apartment and stuff, you know? But
Right. I
no
mean,
drugs were found at the property.
yeah, I mean they can't be right every time, first of all, you know?
I know, I know.
And yeah, so keep going with your thoughts. Is that all you got for the first thing?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
was just
so
like 3 officers were part of this, and only one got charged. And you know what they got charged for? Endangering the people next door, but not even the people in the apartment that they were shooting at.
yeah. I
What
mean,
do you think? Break
I
it
I have
down.
a few things. First of all, I feel like I mean, I feel like it seems like it wasn't it wasn't like some of the other racist incidents. This doesn't seem racistly dry. This seems more like a really, really like some bad police officering. That's what it seems like to me. It's just some bad police officering and and just not, you know what I'm saying?
I know that, but that would be the situation. But the ruling, that
Yeah,
doesn't have to do
so
with bad
yeah,
policing.
yeah, I got you. So it also just feels like at the same time, I feel like the idea was there. I just think the execution was bad in the police officers. I would have been okay if they went in and somebody and they shot the boyfriend who was shooting at them. That would have made sense to me. That would have, you know,
They weren't. They weren't even aiming though. They just blatantly
I know
fired.
that's
Like,
why I said it would have made sense to me.
right?
But at the
Would have.
same time, like I just think that it's bad police officering. I feel like they should have done better. They should not have just opened fire. They shouldn't have they shouldn't have there shouldn't have been 32 rounds. There shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things wrong with it. And then so for the ruling is it's an interesting one there because I mean, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know what you can and cannot charge him with. I don't know if you can charge him with murder there.
Yeah, and people were also calling for like the reason of their decision. They kind of just said, "We're not charging them. Have a good night." they didn't really get they people want like the recording of what happened and like what were like the reasonings, you know?
Yeah, I mean those are not always released. You know, like what are you like they're not always released like the recordings. A lot of that is normally kept private for legal and family reasons.
I know, but like even I don't know, I just think that it's it's a little crazy though because even though it was a mistake, like someone did die and they still did fire, you know,
Right, right.
everywhere.
I
So
mean
that was the thing.
I mean hmm. Like it's an interesting thing because like you said somebody did die, you know? So how like you're not gonna you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna charge him with murder, but at the same time, like I don't know. It's just manslaughter is normally like I'm looking here. That's why I'm sound a little distracted. It's normally like what's the word I'm looking for? I guess on like not on purpose is the best thing that I could say, but
Not by
not real
accident.
like so like here's in New Jersey like driving manslaughter or vehicular manslaughter.
But
So
still,
drivers who unintentionally cause accident that result in the deaths of passenger. So if you could use if you could apply the same thinking there to vehicular same thing manslaughter, which I don't like. These are all our 14-year-old minds, not attorney minds. So don't we could be
don't
completely wrong here, and that's But if you could apply the same thinking there, and
right.
why can't you charge him like if they could be charged for like unintentionally like for vehicular manslaughter, which he obviously couldn't because there was no vehicle involved, but I'm saying for the reasoning, then why can't it be charged for in in this situation?
I don't know. I just think that even charge them, maybe not with murder, just excessive force. You know, the act of shooting them, like sending 30 rounds. You know.
Right. But I mean, right. I feel like I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's a difficult dilemma because on the one hand, like I don't even know. Like I don't, because on the one hand, like I don't really see why he wasn't like why they weren't charged with manslaughter.
Yeah. I
Murder.
don't
I don't
know.
know. Like I don't know what counts as murder. I don't know. Like we're not. So let's get into the outcome, like the stuff like that.
What?
Let's get into the outcome of this ruling.
Oh yeah, that was just it's the same when it happened. You know, people are protesting in the streets all over. Did you see like some of these videos of them protesting?
No, I didn't.
And also and like big like names in the playoffs for the NBA, like LeBron James.
No,
He was
tell me about it.
so well. Also, a lot of like before I get into it, like a lot of athletes have like her name in their helmets. But yeah, people were outside the courthouse and they had like the not the courthouse, but wherever the decision was announced, and they had it on speakers, and everyone was gathering around, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, and when that decision came out, everyone started like cursing and everyone was yelling, like it got bad
Yeah,
fast. And
isn't LA like really bad?
yeah, and there's a curfew for like 9 o'clock in some cities. It
Yeah, I
just
think in Louisville, where it happened, I'm pretty sure it's curfew at 9. I mean, yeah, the outcome. I respect like the sports who do that. Like you have like that moment of
peacefully.
unity and stuff like that. But like, the violent stuff, like immediately there's the protest gathering of like no justice, no peace.
Yeah, I know. It's the peaceful ones are the good ones, but you know.
Right. Yeah, I've said this a lot of times before. I appreciate, I salute I salute you if you're a peaceful protester,
Right.
you know. But I mean, it's crazy. The situation is, it's interesting how all these situations become like national, you know.
Well, yeah, because it just, like one thing gets like, I don't even know if like viral is the right word, but it gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy
Yeah.
how it does.
Yeah. It just, the whole situation is really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah. So on to let's move on onto the next topic. So recently there have been a lot of cases rising. We're not going to jump into the numbers because not everybody wants to hear how many people are dying. I personally don't. But so just generally cases, like I think it was like 22 states have reported. This is as of now. It could have gone up, could have gone down. Are reporting cases rising in their state. So that's something interesting. There is like you could just see cases are it's starting up again, which
Yeah. It's crazy. It's not going down
yeah. I mean even so out me and Eitan, we go to two different schools. We started
in person.
yeah, we started in person, right? Thank you. My school actually personally we had a bunch of cases. So they said we have like a break, and by the time this comes out the break would have started. October 2nd is when the break starts. So as of 2 Thursdays ago, by the time this comes out, so like September 24th ish, 23rd, they sent an email that will be virtual until the break.
Right.
So that's something interesting. There's just cases are rising. There's virtual, so you know
Yeah, I really thought, like, especially in our towns, like, I really thought we were done with this. And a lot of people did. And it's just so crazy getting that email, like, where another case is in your school. And, like, I mean, like, it's good that, like, this is all, like, precautionary. We weren't shut down by, like, the government. We were just, like, a precautionary step.
so you thought it was done.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I really thought that like we've done like really well in all the things we've implemented, especially in
I know,
school.
but
Like
I know, but
everything's
here's
so
the thing. My mother pointed this out. I think it's accurate.
people don't listen.
Yeah, exactly. Is the problem is not the schools. The schools are we're all masked. We have plexiglass. We're social distancing for the most part. Actually, yeah. I mean, masks are most of the time are not 100% worn. They're enforced. There's stuff like that. I mean, the problem is out of school. Nobody listens. Nobody's listen. No, everyone's nobody cares. So that it's not
Yeah,
the in school problem.
that's the crazy. That's the like important part is that like okay, you have to like continue these things outside of school because if you go into school and you're like 6 feet from your friend and then as soon as you step out of school you go hug them and you're like play football
Exactly.
with them or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The problem is not in school, it's a problem of outside. And then like people don't listen. They'll come to school with a cough or they'll come to school with, you know?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's
like
like
the other
it's
day
upsetting.
before they actually the day before they emailed us that we'd be virtual. I happened to be virtual that day because my parents we were gonna be virtual until that break. I mean,
Just cause, or you had
yeah,
a case.
long story. It doesn't matter. But also, yeah, before that, early in the year, I had a bad cough, so I actually zoomed. It's not fun. You don't want to do that. You don't want to zoom in while the class is in person. It's you know
Yeah, I know, but like I can't learn on Zoom. That's the annoying part, and I'm scared that it's just gonna continue. Like after this break, we're gonna see. Oh, he's positive. 14 more days. Oh, these two people are positive. 14. I think it's never ending. I think it's gonna
that's yeah. That's
even.
the
I think
thing.
it's just
That's
gonna
the thing
be
is that
once.
that's how you let your I mean that rightfully so. That's how you let your fears overcome you. You just have to remember that it's going to eventually end. If you think that it's
Hopefully,
going to no impossible for it, it's not going to not end. That's not going to happen. That's impossible. But if you think that and know that it is going to end, then you're not going to be as fearful and as scared, because okay, you make the best of a situation that of a situation that is not amazing, but you make it a good situation, you know?
Yeah.
Um like it's just it's a interesting situation. If you make the best of it, then it's all you could say.
Yeah, I know. I hope we're good. I think, yeah, I just hope we're gonna be like in person soon.
Yeah, and even if not, that's what I'm saying. If you just make the best of Zoom, just try, don't go into
Gotta
a
be
room with a
positive.
TV. Leave your phone in the other room. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's literally impossible for you to get distracted.
yeah, that's true.
So on to the next topic. We have something interesting here. So I saw the other day I was looking for stuff to talk about the episode. I saw this thing in Apple News. It was like 3 parent families are trending. I was like, okay, let me read this article. So basically, there are these things that are trending. Is that like there are these three, like, so you have a family and you basically have 3 parents. So how it works is, here's a quote from an article. Here's a quote. Today, Jay is the person in this article. Is part of a 3 parent family in Northern California. He lives with a married couple, and is not part of these people's marriage. We're not going to say the name, but um, and is not part of their marriage. But he is a father to their biological daughter.
Huh?
And the full name includes all 3 of their last names.
Oh, so they're married and they like kind of adopted a kid and brought the kid's father with them.
No, I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
And it's interesting.
yeah, but like, it's so weird. Can you imagine having a parent in your house who isn't part of their marriage? It's probably just so
Yeah,
much
it's
like
just like
awkward like power struggle.
that, and like what I wonder like what the point of it is, like to get like extra help. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I didn't like understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting that I don't know. I wonder if there's more cases like that. If you, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I think it's legal in California.
Really?
So I mean, there
I mean,
probably
what
is.
is illegal in California?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
that's
mean,
really interesting though.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's a little strange.
Yeah, I know you. I hear what you mean, like power struggle
Yeah,
and like,
that'd probably be the main problem with that is, like, you had the parents who love the child like unconditionally, but then
you have like the biological parents that also
yeah,
love the
it's
child.
probably just a very weird situation.
He's my cat. No, he's my cat. It's crazy though.
Yeah.
Interesting. So on to this very stressful topic. The 2020 election. 2020 election, guys. Who is ready? What are we getting? Like 30, almost. Oh my God, it's like almost a month.
Around
Really,
a little. No, by the time
around.
this comes out, it'll probably be exactly a month, or a little less, a little more.
So very excitingly, Trump, Trump,
Trump.
Trump said after asked that he won't initially hand over power if he loses the election. And I think what's gonna happen is that well, first of all, like, I'll quote what Trump said is that like um there's a couple quotes here, but like one is like we're going to have to see what happens. So
Yeah,
that was
the
a
rest is
very
one
Trump.
quote.
Oh, it's all one quote. So yeah, the rest is like I've been complaining very strongly about the ballots, and the ballots are a disaster, Trump said. And get rid of the ballots, and you'll have a very peaceful. They won't be a transfer, frankly. There will be a continuation.
That's
And
interesting,
yeah, that is
because
interesting.
you could say 2 things there. You could say you could say he's being a dictator and he won't hand over power,
Right.
or you could say,
He's being
I
rational.
understand it, because let's say something is really unfair and really is rigged. Let's say a million ballots aren't casted, and he committed to a peaceful transfer. So now everyone's going to hold him on that. And he can't fight back because he committed to a peaceful transfer.
Right, and that's like one of the things I told you before, and I think that's what's gonna play out is that the election results are not gonna be announced for like 2 or 3 weeks after the election, just because they'll still be counting ballots. And then if Trump loses, this is only like an if, but if Trump loses, um, I wish I could say what, but if Trump loses, then he will say that it was fraud. It took too long and it was fraud. And then he'll take it to the Supreme Court. And as you know, he's planning on rushing a conservative in. And in the Supreme Court, it will be a 6-3 lead if I forgot her name is sworn in. So then it seems like the election will go in Trump's favor if he has a lead in the Supreme Court. And I think if Biden does end up winning, it will most likely go to the Supreme Court because Trump has a valid concern of the mail-in ballots. And the last time I went to the Supreme Court, I'm pretty sure it was Al Gore.
Well, so here's what I'd say about that is I think they're not gonna rule it that Trump wins unless it's actually something wrong, because they have to quote a basis and say what's wrong with it.
Well, like
So they're not
like
just gonna say we don't want Biden. They're gonna have to give a reason. They're gonna have to find a valid reason. Unless they find ballots that were not into the government, and rightfully so, they should in that case. They're not gonna say Trump wins. They're gonna say I don't know what they're gonna say, but they're not just gonna hand it over to the other person. I think you're just giving a very like extreme viewpoint. Like you're giving like a worst case scenario, but I can't see that happening.
I don't know when the Republicans had majority in the Supreme Court for Al Gore Bush, they picked Bush because he was Republican.
I don't know that case, but what happened there? Do you know?
Well, yeah, it was pretty much a tie, and Al Gore won by like a certain amount of votes, but like Al Gore was winning like the popular vote, but something with the Electoral College that it ended up being like very, very close. Like I think it was almost an exact tie that they went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's definitely something more there, because the Supreme Court isn't just going to be like, okay, fine, Bush wins. They're going to have a basis and have a reason.
I know,
So
but like
we're misunderstanding something there, because
it's also like the impeachment trials where all the Republicans said Trump's fine without like any reason. They just said Trump's fine.
No, that's not true. It's because they didn't find any evidence that he was a criminal.
No, they were just supporting Trump.
Okay, that's one way to think about it, but I don't
know.
think.
I don't know. I think that it will go to the Supreme Court, though. I don't know if they'll pick Trump or anything.
I think it will too, but I don't know. I don't think that they would. They're not just gonna say here's Trump. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna give a basis, and they're gonna give a reason, and rightfully so. They should overturn it, or they should do something about it if the ballots were faulty. They should. It's in their power, and they should be doing that.
Yeah, I know. I just like we'll really have to see. It's so
yeah.
close,
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
It's so soon. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of elections, so today's what? Today's the 27th of September. So in 2 days, that means that it will be the debates.
That's
so
gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I think Trump's gonna wreck him.
I don't know. I don't think so. I saw this headline that was very interesting. It said, and I quote, like, by lowering the debate bar for Biden, has Trump set a trap for himself? Which pretty much saying, okay, I don't need to prepare anything for this debate.
Yeah, but
Biden
he didn't.
Just like
no, when you don't know that he's just trash talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
You don't know that Trump just like gets.
Yeah, but I know, but that's. I would bet against that. I would think it's more likely that he's just trash talking, just being whatever. Like I think, like I just like Biden can't deliver a speech. I think Trump is gonna be all over him. I think he's gonna. That's why I think might push over the election for President Trump is the debates. I think this is gonna be a big turning point because I think that if Trump is able to just like he did like just like steamroll, then I think it'll be good for him.
Yeah, I hear, but I think that, yeah, this is gonna be an important debate. We'll really see like
All of
all
them.
these people that said every argument against Joe Biden is he can't speak, he can't say a sentence, he can't do this. So that's why I think to see them head to head, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I think it will tell a lot. I think it'll be table turning is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it'll definitely decide lots of things.
So that is the end, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Follow us on Instagram at Thing Half. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at Thing Half. And if you want to help us grow, consider supporting us on anchor.fm/theyongerhalf/support or press the link in the descriptions. For questions or comments, email us at thinghalf@gmail.com. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe.